All right, second grade, third unit for daily routines. And this is going to feel very similar to what you've done in Unit 2 as well. But we get to Unit 3, Lesson 1, we're going to review this slide, which is so which coin is the smallest? Class, dime. Which coin is the biggest? Nickel. Which coin contains or is the largest value? The dime. Which one is the smallest value? The penny. Which coin is in the middle? So that's all the same from previous unit. Then there's that rhyme, and the rhyme is actually here on the bottom of the slide. I just added a bonus slide here for you with a different visual, but the rhyme is 1 tiny silver dime equals 2 big gray nickels equals 10 pennies. And then you say that a couple of more times. Then you get to these slides, and we're going to count to each row. First, say the name of the coin as I point. Now, I add the freeze because I want students to notice when the coin changes. Okay, so you're going to hear me say freeze, and then we're going to go to each side. So we'll say class, and we'll say dime, dime, dime. Now, they're going to say the name while they're also simultaneously finger flashing the value. Dime, 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 freeze. They would be here. Nickel, 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 freeze. Penny, penny. Okay, so then it's going to say, we're going to get to this slide, and it says, now let's count by it. Ready? 10, and you keep going, 20, 30, freeze, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, freeze, 56, 57. So notice we're still doing the values, but now we're counting up by that amount of money. You get over here to these slides, we're going to do the same thing. We name the coins, then we count by the value. At the end of these slides, Erica found 3 dimes, 5 nickels, and 2 pennies. How much sense did she have? We give you the story problem at the end of those slides. So at all the slides you just saw, you're going to see that we just give them to you. So we want students to make the connection between if I said she had 3 dimes, 5 nickels, and 2 pennies, how much money did she have? That's the amount of money they just counted to. Okay, so we're going to move the first one. You can delete it or just move it down. Boys and girls, let's say the names for each. Dime, nickel, nickel, finger flashing the whole time. Dime, nickel, nickel, nickel. Now let's count. 10, freeze, get your mouth ready. 15, 20, those are always the hard ones. We're going to count by that number. Now, my friends, I want you to make up who can make up a math story for that and that amount of coins. And now we want them just to say, Johnny went to the store and bought some apples. He paid with, and they just say 1 dime, how many nickels, how many pennies, how much did he spend, right? So it's just putting it into a context of a story problem. So then you go to the next row, and you would repeat that, so on and so forth. Okay, so notice that each one of these are on their own. So ideally, these would be each lesson, but in this example, they actually gave you those 2 colors just to practice it multiple times on day 1. So Unit 3, Lesson 1, you're just, okay, let's try this set of coins. Okay, let's try this set of coins. But then by the time you get to Lesson 2 here, now you go through the rhyme again, and then you have all of these where they're covered up. So now you would go, for just this lesson, you would go row by row. So now let's do this row and go through that same procedure. Let's do the next row, so on and so forth. Then you get to Lesson 3, they give you 2 more slides. So you're getting through as many as you can for that situation. But notice it's all the same. Okay, so we're just giving them lots of opportunity to identify coins and to count by the value of those coins. You get to Lessons 4 through 9. Look, it's the same. So now it's just a new slide every day. They'll start getting really fast at it. Okay, so Unit 3, Lesson 2 and 3, you also have this. Okay, so if they're having trouble with the slides in Unit 3 for D6 and D7, then you're going to go here. Okay, so now we're going to count the rows. This is the visual support. So these slides are in lieu of the slides I just showed you. And the reason that they're important is because this came from, if you remember, Unit 2. But the reason they're important is because it's a visual fractional relationship. So a dime takes up this entire column because if I were to move that dime, I would see 10 pennies. And 10 pennies takes up the same amount of space as a dime. Then you can see as far as the quantity. Then you can see a nickel is on that sheet is only half of the space of a dime. So it helps students to visualize how much it's each worth. Notice that a penny is only 1/5 the size of the nickel, or it's 1/10 the size of the dime piece. So that visual some people really prefer, and some students, because it helps them to remember the amount. Versus for some students, when you get to here, they can't distinguish, they forget which one is that, the big one or the small one, and so some of our students may need the scaffolded approach. So again, when you go down to the bottom, you're going to see that those slides are interwoven, and then all of a sudden they put them into a mixed up slide deck. And then you can see the next lesson, same thing. Here they are mixed up or with the visual support, and then they throw in the one that's mixed up here. So you use the ones you want, but you can tell that the first day we just been giving them a lot of practice of naming it, counting by it, here's a story problem. Then by lesson 2 and beyond, we give you one slide deck with multiple options to get through as many as you can. And at the end of this slide deck, then we give you the slides that have that visual support of the fractional amounts. All right, I hope that helps. Have fun, friends.